Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I feel like I haven't talked to you all very much at all lately. I want to tell you some of the things that happened recently. I worked really hard to get the fun packs out, to do the video and just get them all in the mail, and they should be already arrived or arriving by now. I got up a little while ago and I'm starting to feel human again after a tick bite. So there's been so much going on. I don't want to bore you with the long details of everything that's been happening. So if you want to hear that, just hang around at the end of the video and I'll tell you about all of that part. But let's get into the journal first. I've got this gorgeous journal that is part of the collaboration. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? So Margel Shelley of the Shelley Studio actually made the journal. And then it went around to step 2, which was putting the signatures in. And that was APG Jamie. And then to put the pockets and the tucks in, that was Jessica Harris. And now I've got it for step 4, which is filling the pockets and tucks. And then step 5, I'm mailing it out to Rosemary Morris. Step 5 is decorating, like this is stamps and putting tabs on things and just, you know, on and on. And then it'll go on to the last person in the queue, which I think in this round it's going to be Jessica Rapp of 2 Silver Oranges, and she will somehow put a closure on here. But I want to show you what I've done and how everything looks in this journal. They're just getting more and more lovely because they're going around to all these artists. And then I can put this in the mail. Okay, let's take a look at this gorgeous, gorgeous journal. Explore Life. We've got these little ticket type things on the front, the compass, the butterfly. I love the finish outside. I think, wait, let me just pull this out. So every journal was supposed to have in the back a little booklet where people could tell what they were doing with the book. And Margel said this was her first attempt at a faux leather. And then I love this. The theme of the cover was because she loves travel and she was thinking of her great aunt while designing it. So she's got this little picture of her aunt Jenny that goes with her notes, and it does have a travel theme. So let's put this back in. And then we've got APG Jamie. She's got Happy Artin' Y'all. You need to check out APG Jamie. She's a lot of fun to listen to. Then we've got Jessica. She's got Oops. I guess she did her little stamp upside down. She's got a decoration and it says feel free to use. I didn't use it because I'm just supposed to be filling the pockets. And then I will put my notes here. I've already stamped Birdsong. But those notes from Margel tell you a little bit about her thoughts for designing the cover. And I think this faux leather turned out just beautifully. So let's go through this. In the front, this pocket was already here, which I guess Jessica put in. And that's been one of the fun things, is to see your journal that you started with evolve as everybody adds their own touch. In this front pocket, I just took some paper that's a bit staggered and distressed it and put my little bird stamps on each page. So it's like a little notebook in here, a little travelogue, and that little string goes back around here. We won't do it too tight. And then in here, so there's already a tag in this pocket, which is adorable, and it flips like this. I do know that this tuck spot was already here on the page, and I had these really fun pages off of my art desk, and look how perfectly the color matches. So I made this one for the big spot, and then these 2 little cards for those spots. There looks like a coffee filter, all of this beautiful paper. And then this pocket was one of the ones on the page. So I added this tag with some beautiful old images from a book. And we've got the grommet there and the ribbon, the combo that hopefully matches. I did distress the back of this butterfly. It can be written on, and that's just sitting in that pocket. And then turn the page, and under some of these flaps, I just put paper from my art desk, and that can be used to write on or to you know, further embellish the journal, whether it's making tags or tabs or whatever. So I just love the grungy pages like this. Let's get that back in. And another coffee filter. There's just another page from the art desk. And then here was like one of those little port windows, and I did one of my little simple drawings with the ink of some faces on each side, and just put a tab in between those so that that can be pulled in and out. And where are we here? Okay, there's another page, a grungy page from the art desk under this beautiful, I think Jessica did this. Oh, forgive me. I've watched the videos. I can't remember. So this, it seems like it would be Jessica Harris who did this. She put a little sticker for where we all are. Look, we cover the whole United States from coast to coast. And then under this little fold over, I put a really old, beautiful book page with some poems there. And I had to go ahead and add a few paper clips just to keep these in place. And I think that's fine. And then let's see, in this pocket, this is just a card for journaling. And I added a piece of that gorgeous old masking tape that Jen sent to me. And then this is just an old embellishment out of a vintage scrapbook. Beautiful pages here. There's an old playing card and just a little card that I made. Ticket to Happiness. That sits in that pocket. And see, this flips up. There are so many other little spots in this journal. There's actually a little pocket here. I could put a ticket in that. But you know, these books are filling up, so it's good to leave room for whoever ends up owning this journal. And then under here is just another little drawing I did at the desk. And maybe somebody can stamp something in her hair. The next person is going to be embellishing things. And then in here, we have a card that you can write in, and that's just a print of one of my paintings. This was part of the spine of an old book that I had that was falling apart, so I sewed it to some fancy paper, and that's what is in that pocket. Beautiful pockets and beautiful pages and beautiful cover. These books are just amazing. I'm loving seeing how they're all turning out. I already have the next one that I have to do step 5 on, and I'm looking forward to that. So this is such a cool page. Let me show you. This pocket is so neat. You can see it's got the little slots to put things into, and they're staggered. So I started with a 6-inch note card made out of an old map that goes all the way to the top, and then 5, and then 4 inches, and then 3 inches, and then this wasn't quite 2 inches because it wouldn't have staggered exactly perfectly. I think there's a little less room in here than there is between each of the, just because it's sewn around the top, I think. Anyway, I like that a lot. And that folds out. And then in this pocket, we've got an old travel postcard. I thought that would fit in perfectly. It's stamped London. And another old travel postcard. Isn't that beautiful? 1971. That one's postmarked Yonkers, New York. And then yet another travel postcard along the way of TWA, Trans World Airlines. 1956. That's also New York postmark. No, Columbus, Ohio, and then the address is Long Island. Astoria 5, Long Island. Oh. And then in this pocket, I put one of my carte de visite, old CDV cards, probably from the late 1800s. She looks like she would be a nice traveling companion. Another playing card. And then just a little piece of note paper under here for note-taking or journaling. and a couple of, or it's actually one little book, card here. It's carbonated, I guess, or meant to be carbonated. It's got a, it's attached there with a separate sheet on the back. There's a playing card under here. Now here is a little hiding place with some more pockets. I need to find some tickets. Oh, look what I found. I especially love these tickets with the crowns on them. And then let's put a couple of these in here. That's enough. We don't want to overdo it. And then where was that other little spot? I think it was back here on one of these. There it is. Okay, maybe we'll just leave that one there and get back over here. Okay, this is so cute. See how that spins inside the page? But isn't that adorable? This book's getting full. Under here, we've got this Georgia Wilkes cotton label. It's actually a sticker. So I'm not going to mess with that. I think it's a sticker, like for a wine bottle. And then we have this old picture. She looks like she's about to go somewhere. She has her coat, her hat, and keep turning here. Just beautiful. I didn't put anything in here because it felt like it was getting pretty full to me. There's a pocket here, and I did not put anything in this one. I just left this little piece of paper. Actually, you know what I might do? Here's a couple of pieces of paper that were page or pocket markers. I'm going to stick both of those back in there. The next person might be able to use those as part of the tags or whatever. And then another little folded page there, like a little tuck spot. There's a little sheet of note paper with the squirrel and the bird. And then here, so here's another little clear port window with a pocket. And I had a couple of cards that were very botanical, with the spiders and then the moths or the butterflies. So I just cut those into circles and put this tab in the center so that that can slide in and out. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill this out and get this in the mail. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to show you the next one. It's amazing, just like the others have been. And bye for now. We left last week to go to West Virginia, so I worked really hard to get all the fun packs out before we got on the road. It was a 5.5-hour drive, kind of going in tandem with my daughter and my son-in-law, my grandson, and did I say we were going up for a wedding? My niece got married. So working so hard to get the fun packs out, I really pushed to get all of that done before we left. Well, a week ago, so let's see, this past Sunday would make exactly a week, 7 days. So today's what, Wednesday? 8, so like I'm 10 days out from a tick bite. Jason had a gig on Saturday night, and it was out in a very wooded area. So this would have been 11 days ago. So I'm 11 days out from the tick bite. Anyway, it was a beautiful venue. The structure was actually built for someone else's wedding. And I hear the birds outside. So before the gig started, Jason and I walked through the woods to see a really large pond that's on the property. And then we went back up and I took my seat. It was a large wedding party. And the evening went on. We were probably there, I don't know, 6 hours, because after it's over, Jason still has to break everything down and, you know, put the cords away, carry his amps out to the car where he was parked. It just takes time. I had no idea until I met him, the work that goes into being a musician. And then we had the drive home. We got home, and I would say at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I realized that a tick was attached to me right here. Still really sore here. Well, I took the tick off, and it didn't really seem to be engorged. And I thought, oh, I hope I got it soon enough. But I was thinking about that walk before the gig ever started, which means this tick was probably on me for about 6 hours. So fast forward to about Thursday, just, less than a week ago. And I was really stiff in my neck. Like it hurt. It still hurts a little bit. It's a lot better though. And I developed a headache, but I thought it was from pushing to get those fun packs out and just the stress of trying to get ready to go on this trip. So anyway, I thought it was just from pushing, from the stress like you have in your shoulders when you've been leaning over a desk. But the headache got worse, and I just felt really tired. I couldn't really, it was so vague that I didn't think much about it because there was so much going on. My daughter, I had hemmed her formal dress. I mean, she was in the wedding. My little grandson was absolutely adorable. He was not in the wedding, but he had his little dress shirt and everything. And then he ended up just being completely over it because it's hard for a 2-year-old to sit in a car seat for 5.5 hours. And we had done that the day prior to the wedding. But anyway, the day of the wedding, I just felt really run down. And I had this headache going on, and there was so much background activity. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. But when we got back, the wedding was over. We got back to our hotel room Saturday night, and I was freezing. I was having chills. I could not get warm, and every time I would move, it would be like a cold wind blowing on me. You know how it feels when you have a fever. So I got under the covers and just like balled up in a ball, and finally got warm and went to sleep and slept all night. But when I woke up the next morning, I felt really bad. I had a headache. I knew I was having chills. My neck pain was still there. I felt very run down. And all of a sudden it hit me, that tick bite. I had not even made a connection that I had a tick bite. Maybe what made me think about it was that I was really sore right here. So I called the nurse line for my doctor's office and told her all the symptoms, and she said, you really need to be seen in the next 24 hours. We have a small window of time. It was a dog tick, so I was worried about Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And we got everything packed up. We had to be checked out that day and get on the road. So we did that, and we switched up the way we were driving. My daughter and son-in-law went ahead and started back with my grandson, and then Jason and I stayed behind so that I could be seen at urgent care. And fortunately, they put me on doxycycline. I mean, I think there's kind of a low threshold with tick bites when there's symptoms, because if you don't treat it, it can get so ugly. So she put me on doxycycline, and we picked up my medication before we got on the road. But by Sunday, it was not just chills. Jason actually thought that I felt warm by Sunday and Monday, and I took my temperature, and it was 100.1, which is not that high, but that's high for me. I have hypothyroid, so I'm usually like low blood pressure, low temperature, low heart rate. So for my temperature to ever get over 100, I feel like I'm really sick. But I slept most of the way home. I didn't really have an appetite. I felt sick, just really nauseated. Anyway, I'm finally feeling better.